This is a caucus of the Jersey City Municipal Council. Today is Monday, February 6th in the year 2016. We had a scheduled 5:30 p.m. start. My phone, which I've just silenced, hint, hint, says that it's 5:40 p.m. Councilperson Gajewski is here, as is Councilperson Gadsden, Baggiano, Yun. Councilperson Osborne is yet to arrive. Councilman Robinson is here. Councilman Rivera, Councilperson Waterman, and Council President. Hold on to that. That's yours.
We have some handouts here, replacements.
Yeah, I'm not going to hand that thing out until I get the resolution. Okay, take it away, Council President.
Okay. Director Shea, you're up.
Yeah, I'm just here to answer, Council President, thank you. I'm just here to address any concerns about one that was pulled last month. It's a
Z2.
grant.
Z2.
Can I see it?
Z2 is the resolution. Z2. Authorizing award of contract to SpinCube, Inc. for the purchase, delivery, and installation of computer equipment for the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police, through a National Cooperative Purchasing Alliance.
Z2.
Z2. So there were questions about this in two previous meetings, right?
Yeah, so this is a purchase through a cooperative as part of a public safety grant awarded to us by the federal government. This amount, $25,951, is the final pieces of equipment that we agreed to purchase as part of that grant. Most of the grant, the vast majority of it, went for foot-post police officers out in the community, which was expended mostly in the south and the west. But this equipment was used to tabulate results and to coordinate all the data and record it. It's purchased through a co-op. It was vetted and approved by the federal government as part of the grant before we submitted it, and at this late date, it would be a problem. I understand some people had some concerns and think that there may be better things available, but we would have a problem going back to the federal government and asking them to substitute for something they've already vetted and approved the price of. It's no Jersey City funds. It's completely coming from the Department of Justice grant.
Okay. Director, can I ask a few questions? Of course. Because it's not money where they come from, the money. That's not the issue. Issue was that when you see the invoice, we purchased it, we paid for $1,300 a desktop computer per each, but what we do for maintenance for each computer, $2,300, almost 3 times more than what we pay for. That was the issue. Probably you, let me repeat one more time.
I think the other question was about it was a 1-year warranty. Why are we paying maintenance the first year?
Okay, so the question is?
Question was that we pay for computer $1,300 per computer, and the maintenance for the computer, each computer costs us close to $2,400, 2 times more than what we pay for the computer. I never see that kind of contract in my life. But when I see that the new invoice,
So we get the $1,300 from, because it says at $18,000.
No, because of this one, they correct the invoice. They adjust, the different invoice, total different invoice, they present like the last one. So when I see this one,
This is the only invoice I've seen. So, you have the previous one?
all those are small items, but what was the reason we asked them to withdraw? We spend too much maintenance dollars for the actual computer. So they withdrew twice. Now they sent a new invoice. Based on new invoice, the total cost of purchase computer and the printer cost us like $52,000, but somehow they're going to be a half price, $25,000. So I got no issue regarding for that.
Do you want to? Could you?
So it's been changed?
Yes.
Yes.
It's been corrected, yes.
I want you to understand. Based on invoice, total cost of taxpayer, so when I say taxpayer means that not only Jewish taxpayer United States, cost us $52,000, but the company somehow, they're gonna give us a half price, $25,000. So which means I'm happy with that, you know what I'm saying? So I got no question for this one, okay? Okay, thank you, yeah, I mean, thank you very much.
Mistake on, because it's co-op pricing, they can't drop it down.
No,
Okay,
Thank you. I'm going to attend, with your permission, sir, I'd like to go attend the Muslim Advisory Board. Thank you all, thank you.
but before you go down, let me ask you something. Tonight, when we see that, when I see that, all the resolution, we're gonna have a contract, over $2 million contract for the police equipment and maintenance, but when I see myself, seems like to me a lot of items actually duplicate service. One company serves that the networking system, another company provides service, and also there's a networking system. So how many networking system we have to provide one single computer? So my,
Yeah, what happened, Councilman, is when they did the original invoice, I wasn't.
That's why Bob Baker is here for those items. Yeah. Bob is here.
all right.
All right.
Bye, Director.
Hi, Director, you're off the road.
Well, do you want him in the?
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want him to drive? Okay.
Whoa, fire.
Where are they going? Danny, where are they going?
Which are your items?
They have a slew. The police department has a slew of them, all bunched up together.
I'm sorry?
10T as a Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry, he starts at R.
R, 10R.
R. Okay, 10R is a claim submitted by Verizon Business Financial for telecommunication services provided to the Department of Public Safety.
Okay, any questions regarding 10R? Hearing none. Your next item?
T.
Wait, okay, 10R?
Yes, can I?
Councilman Yu.
Yes, they have a public safety maintenance operation voice data and fax. What is that actually? Can you explain that more? Because we're gonna pay Verizon, we pay Verizon bill as a BA office, as a, what do they call it, as a together. This is a separate, any reason we have a separate bill, we pay them, can't
The
you?
reason it was separate is public safety and the city separated. It used to be all under the city, but when we decided that communications for public safety was going to be separated, the record keeping of all the accounts that we had were not fully done. So as we were going through the course of the year, we were identifying circuits that did not belong to the city but belonged to public safety. So we've been working with Verizon every other Friday, sitting down with the business enterprise of identifying every single circuit. Knowing that this was going to happen, it was very fortunate that Greg Kearse had a 911 fund that covers this, because this was exactly for the 911 data circuit. So we knew the city wasn't going to take, a big hit, but we were going to see, a balance at the end of the year. We have since identified, of course, all the circuits. We now know what's what, and the city and I are again collaborating with Bernadette, the new director. We're actually going back to Verizon, trying to get a much more inexpensive rate for this year.
Is that right? So in other words, because it was separate, we're able to save the taxpayers' dollar, number one. Number two, maybe when you apply for grant, there was some kind of benefit we can have it. That's the two major reasons separate from the city.
Yes.
Correct, BA?
Yes, sir.
All right, you say yes, so I agree with you.
Okay. Next item?
T.
Is it T?
T, as in Thomas.
T is in Tom. Okay, it's a resolution authorizing an agreement with Gold-Type Business Machines for providing maintenance and support services for the Department of Public Safety, land, hardware, and NCIC 2000 system.
Right, this is a standard contract that we come every year along with. This is basically part of the software that's sent out into the radio cars, into the handhelds, accessing, the NC IC computer in Washington and some FBI data files.
Any questions on 10T?
Well, because this is the only one company provide state and FBI, we got no choice.
Right, exactly. If you remember, Councilman, we had something like 7 or 8, Bob, at one time. We now just cut them down to three contracts.
All right, you, Gold, is again Gold Type Business Machines. This is for the maintenance of IP mobile data terminal systems for the Department of Police.
Right, that is all the wireless for police and fire, all of public safety.
The wireless means that when I see that their mobile data, it's 130 units. That's the mobile computer you're talking about?
That's what the police type on in the cars.
Right, now. The last year I brought up concern of that issue. Lots of mobile computers are now working condition. But after I brought up the issue, I heard that they provide service, that because a lot of complaints, they're missing that their wireless card. So fully involved that the wireless, they provide the wireless card. Now, when I heard that police officer, a lot of police officers mentioned today, their mobile computers still not working condition. Do you know why? And we pay for almost $220,000 a year for maintenance, and 130 actual mobile computers in the whole lot. And still some computers not working condition. Would you tell me what was the reason?
No, Councilman, that was last year. We have since addressed that at the last meeting that I was at, that we now look at those files every single day. An officer going to a radio car for a piece of fire apparatus has to fill out a maintenance form as to what's working and what's not working. So that is not the case anymore.
Not the case, but when I heard that one of the police officers, yes, that the mobile, I cannot give the name, but they said their computer is still not working. So please, can you look at that issue one more time? You know what I'm saying? Sure. All right, and another one is license plate leaders. How many license plate leaders we have, and what kind of job they provide the people of Jersey City? I mean, police department?
The license plate readers are on radio cars. They're also on fixed locations. They're on the Lincoln Highway Bridge. They're on a few buildings in Jersey City. And what they do is, as a radio car is driving around or you're driving in the street, if your car is wanted in a burglary, it was stolen, it was used in a robbery, it notifies us automatically. If it's leaving Jersey City and heading to Newark, we notify Newark. If it's leaving Newark and coming to Jersey City and coming over the bridge, we know where the vehicle is. A few of our major cases that we've had that made the paper, I'm not going to go through what they were, but some of them were solved because of the APLR driving all of a sudden finding one of the most wanted vehicles parked right in front of the residence.
Okay, then let me ask this one. So how many plate leaders we have there?
We have 65 total.
65 total.
And they're adding.
Okay, I see. So 65 total. They're all working condition there.
Yes.
Because we provide the maintenance contracts for 65. So another question is that when the street parking the car, when they like a bump to bump, still they able to read the plate?
Yes, there's four cameras on top of a radio car. So they're aiming in the front and they're aiming in the back. They have a field of view and it will pick up. Same thing with the ones on the buildings. They're looking down, seeing your plate in the front and seeing your plate in the back. I'll also tell you that you're driving past some of these big orange barriers, the round barriers. It's not a barrier, it's an ALPR reader that's checking. We put them into hot spots when we're looking for cars with shots fired and whatnot.
Oh, okay, so good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no other questions? Moving on to the next item. Just 10V?
Yes.
This is a Viper 94?
No, this is InfoCop
InfoCop server software application,
92.
Yeah, this is Gold Type.
10V.
This is again Gold Type Business Machines for the existing InfoCop server software application created by Gold Type Business Machines.
Right, they have a proprietary software, and this is the software that's used by the dispatchers and used in a radio car to look up license plates or to look up warrants and warrants on individuals.
Thank you. Questions? Next item?
Viper Communications for support services.
Last year, thanks to the council, we spent almost $1 million on a brand-new 911 system, and it's now a year old, and we're maintaining the software, which wasn't done prior, as you recall. It was versions and versions back behind. This is now the annual maintenance contact to maintain that 911 system.
That's actually the next one, that's X.
That was X.
That's X. This is the Avaya phone
The
system.
Viper. We skipped 10W.
Avaya phone system, 93.
93?
The Via phone system?
Oh, yes, okay, Avaya. That's the, basically, that's just the phone system for public safety. That's what we use at all the locations. It's Avaya. That's every year. That price has not increased in about 5 years.
10W, 10X is the Viper,
911 system,
911. You got another item here?
Y, 95.
10Y,
95.
That's network management solutions for maintenance and support services for the Division of Public Safety, both police and fire computer infrastructure.
That is our maintenance for, we have under public safety. I maintain 45 separate locations, and I have 2,200 users that come through my building in the course of a day.
This is all the
For
servers and
email,
routers, right?
yeah, email, routers, LAN cables, the whole bit, and these are my network engineers who help me maintain that, plus the fact that public safety has to have all our circuits encrypted, so that makes it a little more complicated, and this company has done an outstanding job with us in maintaining that.
You know what? You're a very knowledgeable person, really. Yeah, but
Public Safety Communications.
even though they are a certain director of a certain department, they doesn't have the knowledge of what you have, really. I really appreciate your work, I'm really, very impressed me.
Send me your resume.
It's a very rare. Send me a resume, okay? No, really. Thank you for your good job, okay? Really.
Z.
Let's think wireless.
Think wireless.
That's for the support of, again, proprietary computer hardware and software.
That is simply microwave technology that should our LAN system go down, if we lose Verizon or any one of our other networks, it automatically takes over to the microwave so that we maintain all our major, our vital infrastructure.
The redundancy?
That's redundancy, exactly.
Okay, next item. Z1.
AT&T Mobility for wireless devices and services under state contract.
That is cell phones, tablets, and modems in all public safety vehicles. I believe this one represents, what I say it was,
So how many cell phones?
100,
The device you mentioned, there.
I believe this one right now, please.
it's up to 130, about 136 devices. And we're actually in the process right now of knocking that down. We're going through the list again to see if anyone's changed, because they shift positions all the time. So you may need a telephone if you're in a specialized police unit, but then you transfer it back to patrol. So we keep going back and looking and taking back. So what we just did is we encrypted the phone system. So when you talk on the phone now and somebody tries to intercept the conversation, you can't. But it also allows me to kill the phone, to restrict what you can download, and also to poll to see who has what, where, when, and why. So we're slowly, we're getting there.
That's it, you're done.
That's it.
You're lucky man.
10 of them. Thank you.
Which one?
Z3 starts with contract with Liberty Landing Marina to supply fuel for marine vessels. That's our fireboat.
Okay, any questions to the Deputy Chief?
We have one that's our main firefighting boat, which is a 57-foot one that we've had under a grant for about 10 years. Then we have a Boston whaler, which is about a 28-footer, that also has firefighting capability. And then we also have a smaller 18-foot Zodiac type, the inflatable. And I don't know. Probably at DPW. It's, maintenance on these boats are there's a lot of maintenance issues, and fuel costs are high, so I don't know if the police are actually even using their boat. Honestly, I don't know.
You know, we had the Vietnam River Rat boat, that's rotting away down in 440, or down in Linden Avenue. We had the pontoon boat, that's rotting away down in 440, and it's a shame. We should have that police boat should be back in the water.
Yeah, I mean, we're proactive. We're up on the maintenance. We keep getting grants for this maintenance and for the fuel, so. Was that? No. Good?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, two more. 10J.
Backing up to 10J, which is a contract to allow our fire recruits to attend the Morris County Fire Training Academy. Thanks, Steve.
Any questions on that? Hearing none, next item.
And associated with that is Pete.
10P.
Okay, any questions on this one?
He is
Paying for them to go to the academy.
So training course for each fire course is $1,500, right?
Yes.
So how many weeks was it?
I think there's 26.
26 weeks.
Oh, no, 26 members.
26 members. I mean, the training, how many weeks is of training?
It's dictated by the state, so I think that's 8 weeks, and then we hold them, because they actually do EMT training now under the federal grant, which is another 6 weeks. And then we also, when they get out of the academy, we do some in-house training for another 2 to 3 weeks, driver training, maintenance on vehicles, that type of stuff. So it's 3 to 4 months, basically.
6 weeks training.
Roundabouts, yes.
Yeah, so 4 months.
And we don't have a training academy in Jersey City to do it in-house. That's why we go outside for now. Yeah, it did. What happened was, we're at the mercy of the training academy, and they had slots earlier than we had expected, and they were okay with us sending our recruits there earlier, and they didn't mind us doing this after the fact. So they trusted us, basically, because we've been there before. This is like the 3rd or 4th class we've had there.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none? Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Director Stamato, you had something to, you have to get somewhere, you said, right? Yes. Tell us where you're going, so that...
Society Hill. For another meeting.
Yeah. What's your items?
Okay, well, I have 3 items, 17-077.
It's G.
10G.
Sorry about that, 10G.
That's selling a Ford 550 truck to Stevens Institute of Technology.
That's correct. It's a 2003 Ford.
Okay, any questions? Next item?
Stevens, I hope that goes over there soon. This has been going on for about 3 years. I
know.
Or more than 3 years, and it's a shame. So I hope you take care of it and get rid of it.
No, we should have it done pretty soon. All right, next item is, I guess, 17-101.
Z5.
And that's a resolution authorizing an award of a contract to Zooland Corporation for the maintenance and repair services of light and medium vehicles for the Department of Public Works and Automotive Division.
Okay, any questions on this?
Yeah. They're going to take up the light and medium duty, I guess more like a trucks, I guess, right?
Correct. Pickup trucks. You know, some of the fire trucks, it would be some of their equipment. It's a number of vehicles for both fire, police, and ourselves. And that's roughly about 1,600 vehicles. 1,600 vehicles.
Not 600 vehicles all go their place, because when I Googled that location, what are they called? 1742 John F. Kennedy? They're not big, huge garage.
No.
The entrance, it was very small.
Yeah, these would be
I don't know.
medium-sized trucks.
Your fire trucks is that-
When I say fire,
vehicles.
like they're four-wheel drive vehicles, they're like, you know, that SUVs.
Yeah, not a fire truck.
No, light and medium, not big fire trucks, little ones.
Okay, any questions? Anything else, C5? Nothing?
Z6.
This is open country, right?
Yes.
So how much we spent the last year to this company?
That's a good point, I don't have that information. I could get it for
Provide
you.
that to the council?
Yeah.
Yes, I will.
Okay, good.
Okay, Z6,
Z6, and this,
Sherwin-Williams for the purchase and delivery of paints.
right, exactly. It's
supplies.
resolution authorizing an award of a contract to Sherwin-Williams for the purchase and delivery of paints, related supplies for the Department of Public Works, Division of Buildings and Street Maintenance through the Cooperative Purchasing Alliance.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none.
This is included here, mural program painting, or is it separate?
You know what? I believe it could be in there, but that's a separate item totally. This is basically for a lot of the buildings that we have, city locations. Not for the mural. The mural project falls under another category. Yes.
Director,
Yes, sir.
Z5, it says 47 for the year 2016. For the repairs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, councilman is,
What's your question, Megan?
No, you gave the answer.
yeah.
Yeah, what we spent last year.
That was $170,000.
It's roughly,
$170,000. I don't have that page on my, sorry about that. Yes, sir.
Go Army, sink Navy.
Councilman, I don't have any comment on that tonight.
At least not now. Okay, he's got one item. One item?
Z11.
Z11 is a resolution authorizing a contract to Rammonson Public Sector LLC to upgrade SunGuard HTE, the city's existing payroll services and personnel management system, to SunGuard One Solution, a human services information system, HDIS. We have Mark Bunbury here.
So this is an initiative that I've asked HR to undertake. Our existing payroll system was purchased in 1994. And if some of you may have seen it, it's still a nice black screen with green dot matrix graphics. It's very impressive for 1994, but 2017, it's really not. So we were talking about upgrading it, and we put some funding in the last capital budget to come up to a more 21st century system and more of a human resources system that incorporates health benefits and pension and payroll and workforce management, and even looking at doing some sort of employee timekeeping and daily attendance out of it, and get into a eliminate paper. So it's going to be a web-based system. We've asked Councilwoman Osborne to be involved initially in the process, so she was very familiar with what we are proposing today. We've had some demonstrations. I think a few other council people may have seen aspects of it, and I think I'm stealing Mark's thunder, so I'm gonna shut up right now.
You're doing good.
I know. That was a good summary. I don't think I have to say anything else.
So we're gonna purchase $460,000 for this program. So now how the maintenance cost will be?
So that number, the $460,000 is going to includes the maintenance fees for every year. So the actual cost of the software upgrade is roughly $227,000.
Upgrade software,
Right, correct.
Okay.
So now the maintenance fees are included in the total cost of the contract overall. So there's 5 years of maintenance fees that are included. The maintenance fees range from about $32,000 to $36,000. It kind of steps up a little bit each year. But in comparison, the system that we have right now that is over 20 years old, we pay roughly $47,000 a year to maintain it. So, in maintenance fees. So essentially we actually end up getting a new system and we're paying less for the maintenance fees for this new system over the old system.
So $460,000, right?
It's over 5 years, though, Council.
Yes,
It's not 1 year.
Upgrade software plus maintenance, right?
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
No, having gone in and looked at it, I can't believe the processes that you guys were subjected to, and I hope we can find more of these throughout the city to make people's lives easier, to make the workers' lives easier, because it was kind of crazy what they had to do.
Yeah, and one of the things that's about the system is, as Bob mentioned, there's an employee portal that will be on the system that the employee can log in and get all their pay stubs. We don't have to actually print pay stubs anymore. You can get it online. They can get more information that they need in terms of the information about them as an employee, their benefits information, all that stuff, because they don't really have access to it in a broad way right now. So that would allow the employees just to have more information for themselves and hopefully be more satisfied with what we're providing. So.
It'll take about 9 to 12 months to roll this out, so we're looking at early 2018 to make this happen. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited. So
Yes, right.
that's it. He says I'm in charge right now. So
Next up.
who's got one? Tanya, come on up, Tanya. Yes, sir.
Don't get confused yourself.
They're only paid $30,000. They pay $120,000. A big difference. So don't touch that one. You can. You're gonna lose it right there. $90,000. If you want to, go ahead.
I don't know, I think I'm here more for legal clarification. Yeah.
R5, okay.
This is a ordinance that can be on the table, right? Or
So
removed from the table, John?
4C. It was tabled last meeting, re-advertised for this meeting.
So, I believe that this is cleared up with Jeremy, but I think we should just speak about what happened and make sure that everybody's on the same page. So, you guys know, because we've been talking about this R5 zoning for a bit now. Tony and I have been talking about it for about 2.5 years. We had a wide community process to get input into what kind of zoning we should have, where the current R1 zoning is in downtown specifically. My office did a mailing to all impacted property owners, informing them of the changes, or what the proposed changes were. We got feedback from folks, and the kind of the direction was to go with this option that had essentially what for a standard size lot would be 4 stories, 4 units with green roof options on the top. For some reason, what went to planning board did not have that. However, when people called the planning department or when they talked to me, they were all told it had the green roof option. The version that went to planning didn't have that. It didn't allow for the green roof. But the version we have here does allow for the green roof. So there was concern that should we put it back to what went to planning. My opinion was, since what we told the community about, what we got feedback on was the 4 stories, 4 units with a roof deck. That's what we know. That's what we mailed to the constituents. That's what they understand and know. And Jeremy's opinion was that that we should stick with that. And Jeremy's opinion was that we can change what has gone to planning board as the council. It's our prerogative and our purview. So I think based on that email from him, it would seem that by introducing with 4 stories, 4 units with the green roof, we have in fact done that, modified what went to planning board.
You're going to re-advertise.
It was always advertised that way. That's the point. And yes, it was already re-advertised. We don't need to change what we introduced, because what we introduced was already changed from what was the planning board.
So the green roof was prohibited at the planning board approval. It was an amendment actually to the planning board what the planning board got was to get rid of the roof deck and to make it not permitted, because that was
Board's recommendation.
right. That was at the request of some V&A board members at the time, was to get rid of to prohibit the roof decks. And that amended ordinance that prohibits roof decks went forward, but I was on leave. And so this went through when I was on leave, and the person who was pulling up all the files pulled up the file that didn't have the planning board, right. It had the green roofs, right. And so that's what went to you guys, I guess. So
my perspective here is that the one with the green roof is what should go through, and if we want to have a process where we go by and we take the green roof out, that should be a separate process, not something that was amended last minute at the planning board, because what we communicated out to people when we got feedback was that it had the green roof, and I think we should just introduce.
Is it gonna be adopted?
As is. I think we should.
As we look at it.
Correct. I think we should adopt it as
Beautiful
is.
thing.
So as you look at it, it says.
The one that's right now in front of us?
This one. This one here. Just help me to. It says, yeah, I got the impression when I spoke to Jeremy that this had to be reintroduced, but.
Not for his email to me. Okay.
Wait. I'll put it in perspective. At the last council meeting, there was a motion made to table it and instructing the clerk to advertise it for this meeting when Councilperson Osborne would be here. And I did so.
Can I ask you, what got taken? Is it with or without the roof deck?
No language was changed.
Right. The problem was what went to planning board is different than what came to council. But Jeremy's opinion was that we have the right to change it. So we introduced the change to begin with, so it's a non-issue.
But it did get re-advertised.
That's fine, it got re-advertised, but it's a non-issue.
Yes. Okay, I think we're good.
3 times.
So on Wednesday, the second reading will be with the roof deck.
Correct.
Correct. That's really all I'm here for.
Brian?
How many items you got?
Just, well, 2. 10Z15.
Yeah, that's HMR Architects.
10Z15.
And that's for the Lowe's Theater rehabilitation?
That's correct. We have to retain the services of the approved historic preservation architect, and they're going to draw up plans to fix the side addition so that we can get rid of that scaffolding that's a big eyesore and a problem in that area.
Councilman Woodhouse.
Yeah, I've had the meeting with all the business people today on it. And it's about, nothing to do with you. I mean, it should have been done 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. Thank you.
But some train coming very late, so don't worry about it. As long as the train comes to your station, you're okay.
The architect's chomping at the bit, so as soon as Wednesday comes, we'll let them know. Okay?
The loans,
Put money into it, correct? A lot of money? Is there an end date to the money? It's done?
It's on hold until the whole thing with the,
The last thing we did was doors.
right.
Correct.
Administrator?
Yes, sir.
Quick question, because the Lower Theater make a reminder something. So when they have a 3-tower building, General Square, they're supposed to contribute like a couple of $1 million as a community contribution to money go allocate the Lower Theater. To me, what happened to that dollar?
it's sitting in Jersey City, and it should be turned over to the Lowe's Theater.
I recall the initial payment being made. It is sitting in our accounts right now.
So they paid?
Yes.
You say initial payment, how much they paid, initial payment?
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be installments, and as they get COs, they made the initial installment of $1 million or so, maybe $1.5 million that we have, and then I think when they get a CO, the second payment comes.
So my question is that if we not get CO whatsoever for the Lowe's Theater, we're never going to get the rest of the balance.
Not for the Lowe's, for the project that's being built from the developer.
That money's supposed to locate the lowest theater.
No. The money's coming from the developer. As the developer completes aspects of the project, they make the payments.
They have a pre-project, which one?
First, the initial one.
Initial one. And when they get the CO from the first project, we're gonna get the full $2 million now.
I believe that's the way the agreement reads. But we did get the first installment.
I was told by the head of KRE, the 2 million was turned over to the
That might be
city.
very true. It's like from 3 years ago. I'm trying to recollect.
Cannot be used for anything else except for the Lois Theater.
That's true. That's the way the agreement reads.
I mean, this is going, another situation going on for 2 years, and it's gotta stop.
So that's the interest we saw that the city budget put so much.
Yes,
the
that
2
was
million.
the put us over the top, Councilman.
All right.
Okay, any questions, anything else?
No.
All right. What's your next item?
Yeah. Real simple one.
10L?
Correct. L is in Larry.
You're gonna announce that while I multitask here.
Remedial action permit application to be submitted to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection in connection with Ralph Taylor Memorial Park.
Correct. The new school was constructed adjacent to Ralph Taylor Park. We allowed the school to clean up the site. There was some site remediation that went on. The school took care of it, and this paperwork is merely the final LSRP sign-off for the site. It's just paperwork at this point.
Is the school using any of that property, or were they using any of that property?
During construction and when they cleaned up, yes.
So it's got nothing to do with the playground?
No, but it is open space. So they probably will spill over and use it, but.
Current level of contamination that they say exists?
It's capped. And the LSRP is signed off on it. So this is just the final paperwork in with the DEP.
There's no danger to the children in the school? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Anything else? That's it. Okay, you also have 2 items? Come on, Ed.
You got Z4.
Z4?
Civil Solutions.
Z4, that's the resolution authorizing an agreement with Civil Solutions. Civil Solutions, annually we have a contract with them updating our tax map and also the GIS component of the tax map.
Any questions with regard to Z4?
And when we do that, let me ask a quick question. So tax map, digital tax map, when they, a couple of weeks ago, months ago, that what are they called? The Georgia City Rebuild Company that are able to provide rebuild on time because our tax map has an issue. What was that? So what's different between this one and that one?
This is it. So this is the company that's responsible for updating those maps. They have since updated the maps. Everything's been submitted to the state, and we've gotten a conditional approval to move forward.
But then what was the problem? 2016, our digital tax map was a problem.
Well,
because
the problem is that with the new regulation from the state, they were requesting or asking the city to do a lot of updates. The last time we did some for our digital tax map, you're looking at 17 ID changes that we did to comply with the contract with the state before they even could give the conditional approval for the revaluation.
Some of the changes that the state asked for in these tax maps, as opposed to when the reval was authorized a few years ago, were 2 things. One, all the condo designations were, block and lot, block, 10, lot 3, and with condos, it was lot 3, say 3A, 3B, 3C. Now they wanted that alpha designation changed to numeric designation. So we had tens of thousands of condos now have to be reclassified with a new qualifier. That takes time. That's not currently completed yet. But the second thing that we had to address, there are landlocked properties. I think there are about 65 or so landlocked properties that aren't fronted by a street or by or an easement. So it's considered like a donut. You have the inner circle, and you have properties all around it, and they want to know whose property that circle belonged to. And they want to know if that circle was owned by one of the other property owners next to them. If so, they wanted us to redirect or redraw the property line to include the circle to one of those owners. So it had to be an update. and had to go through property by property, do all the research on the ownership of those properties. That's what took a little bit of time, which has now been done, and now has been submitted to the state and has been approved.
So the state approved the development based on some kind of conditions with that, then we're able to do rebound.
The condo part's not done yet, but everything else has been completed, right?
No.
Okay, you update me now.
The most updated information we have on the tax map is that the conditional approval that was, that we received from the state asked us to change all the alphanumeric designations on condominium. So we worked on that in the last few days. Now, those new designations, the numeric designations, are now in the 2017 tax book. So if you have alphanumeric designations before, those have been changed into numeric right now. So we just need to send it to the state that the prerequisite for the conditional approval has already been satisfied. So
we have one more rebound.
Right, so what's going to happen next is going to be a letter going out to all the property owners. We're then going to schedule public hearings in every ward, at least one in every ward. So it's going to be totally communicated to everyone what the process is. Some of those meetings will be specific to that development. So you might go into a senior citizen building and talk to them about the issues that affect them, because they're not going to want to hear what's going on with the brownstones. So it'll be a small presentation dedicated to them. You know, Port Liberté will get one specific to them probably. So we're looking at doing one in every ward, at least one, and maybe like deal with the block associations. We plan on talking to all the council members to see, you know, what groups you would like us to target, and we'll schedule meetings with them.
yeah, in addition to that, you know, our office and
Yes, please be
We're not doing individual presentations and things like that, like it's, groups. Anything else?
You have to walk on.
Z30. You have the lady 35.
Late item?
Late item, not the latest. It's resolution authorizing a refund of credit of $1,386,000 in change and a reduction in assessments to folks who successfully appealed their taxes. This is Z35. These are all the towers at Portside.
Side, the Portside condominium consists of 3 condominiums. 1 and 2 consist of the 2 towers that we have, the 19 and 25 stories, consisting of 527 units. Basically, those 2 pay around 3.2 million in taxes. Now, this particular resolution refers only to the commercial component of the condominium. The numbers that we have, the 5.2 million assessed value, those are the original assessments that were placed into this condominium unit in 1996 when they first get their certificate of occupancy. Now, that 5.2 million assessed value has been carried. 5.2. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's 5.7, consisting of the land and the improvement assessments on the property. The number that we have, as I said before, on this one, were the one that were placed in 1996. Now, as an assessor, you cannot just arbitrarily change the assessments just because it becomes conventional. So what happened when this expired in 2011, I have no other alternative than to bring down those numbers into the taxable portion. So the assessments that we have were the same as the assessment we have in 1996. Now, the changes in the ratio through the years, of course, would affect just how much this particular condominium unit will be assessed at. From 96% ratio we have now, from 96% ratio we have in 1996 to 23% now. That's why you have this dramatic reduction in terms of just how much the commercial unit is assessed at.
I'm not understanding why the assessment, yeah. It's huge.
Original assessment 5.7. City of Jersey assessed at $3.2 million. It sounds like somebody's slip of their duty. When they expire, that their tax abatement expired, it's supposed to be tax assessor, your office should go out to actual, that's the value, I guess, but you have a short of a manpower, we know that. But I mean, how can be difference? Wow.
Yeah, why?
Because I think it's not, anything like that, but we're not out to criticize your work, but any normal people, when you see that, 5.72, 2.5, what was that, 50% is different?
It is basically the function when you have the ratio. Based on our sales studies, every year we come up with a sales ratio that the director would say, Mr. Assessor, for this year you assess property at a certain level or a certain ratio. In 1996, when we put these numbers, the ratio was 96%. So now, when you have a declining ratio throughout the years, as I said, currently we are using 23% of market value compared to 96% of market value before.
The sales ratio is based on
The sales ratio is basically, we get this when we do a sales study every year. We compare the relationship between the assessed value of the property compared to the sales price.
So why don't we do this way? 1996, the original assessment 5.7, that time, they printed 5.7 based on 96% of fair market value. Now, we have 23% of tax rate, so actually, they are looking at as market value 4 times, so almost $10 million in the market value. You know what I'm saying? But assessed value settlement as okay, I understand, okay? Yeah, good. I got no further questions.
You were tax against going back to 2011. This is multiple years.
That's right, it's a 6-year set.
That's why normally that wouldn't happen. You only go back when people appeal their taxes. They go back this year, maybe last year. This is rolled over since 2011, so this is an accrual. Right. That's really why it's such a big number.
So you look at actually their market value is almost $10 million. Okay, all right. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Okay.
3 items. You have 3? Come on up. Which are your items?
The first one is 10H. I am not. And it, can I go?
H is authorizing the acceptance of a gift of chocolates to senior citizens from Lee Sims.
So, if it's not already on your calendar, I'm just letting you know if it's not on your calendar, the senior Valentine's Day events are this week, Thursday and Friday, and Lee Sims always donates to them.
Next item?
10O.
10O is an Oscar.
Yeah.
And that is a resolution authorizing the use of competitive contracting to procure a website developer to develop the Healthier Jersey City website.
So I'm going to just explain this, even though you might not have questions, because Jeremy called me and had questions. So this is a website for the Robert Wood Johnson Healthier Jersey City project. So this actually is different from the city website that we have, that we are already working on. This will stand separate and as part of the other nonprofits that are in this convening with us. Currently, this work is being managed through the Jersey City Parks Coalition with partners at NJCU, the Housing Authority, and Jersey City Medical Center. This we hope to have completed by July 1st. This will be a partnership portal website. This will be a place where all nonprofits that interface with any health activity can register as a partner as part of the Healthier JC movement, could put in some calendaring so that anybody can go and find that activity, and any member in year 2, this is year 2 of the grant, would be eligible in year 3 of the grant for mini grants, so that other people sort of take on responsibility of the website, and it stands alone from the city, but because we are the contracted agency from Robert Wood Johnson, we're managing this process. We note that this process takes a lot longer through the city than any one of the other more nimble nonprofits that are our partners. So this coincides with the NJHQI efforts and the Aunt Bertha project that I've mentioned before, which is the widget that will have an internal referral process, and so it coalesces with some other efforts that we're doing at the health department.
My eyesight's not very good these days, but am I missing the account number on this? Or I don't see anything.
It does have to be in the actual account to go out to bid, because that's not what they.
It's authorized in competitive contracting.
It's the bid.
Competitive contracting.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going out to bid. We're
No questions. It's competitive contracting. Next item.
Okay.
Okay, next would be Q, right?
Yep.
Accepting the New Jersey Healthy Corner Stores Initiative Grant.
So this is a small grant. It's $4,500. It's from the Food Trust in Philadelphia. They've partnered with Robert Wood Johnson. They're known for kind of turning over corner stores and making them healthier. This initiative is with the American Heart Association, and the goal is to align close to schools to change over some of the snacks in some of these bodegas and help them kind of create a healthier environment. So the American Heart Association's been doing some bodega investigations in these corner stores. We're working with the Hispanic American,
Assessments.
Yeah.
Investigations, let's not.
Well, both. It's
Okay.
that's everything.
Is it 45 or 5,000?
It's 4,500.
It's 5,000.
It does. Maybe they gave us more money. It was in the letter, whatever the letter said.
And how do they actually get it? Which stores they, I know that you.
So they want to be close to like middle schools, so the corner stores that are located near middle schools are their first interested group. Then they go visit them, they see the level of interest, they're taking a look at what's on the shelves, and a part of this, so.
Are they picking it? That's a great question.
Well, then they gave us this from them, they gave us I asked for 4,500, I didn't even see it.
Picking the locations and
The locations are going to be picked through the Health Department and the American Heart Association. And so we've started just taking a look at these neighborhoods where we see low social determinants of health and where people are interested. It's a small grant right now. We're hoping that we can move the meter on it and get more attention from the Food Trust. There is a grant, there is a statewide legislation, so we're hoping that that gets moved forward a bit by our assembly and our state senators, because then that will put more money in a healthy food finance fund statewide that we could do more money with. And that's actually what happens in Pennsylvania. And
So is the health department just saying they're gonna send these inspectors to just bodegas, or
they're not
gonna send them to-
inspectors, it's an American Heart Association nutritionist.
So they're gonna go to just bodegas, or
Any corner store. No, these are corner stores. So these are, a corner grocer, sort of like the best, yeah. So these aren't restaurants. No, not just bodegas. So this is why this is called the Healthy Corner Store Initiative. Yeah.
Tomorrow, the newspaper will say the city is targeting bodegas.
You know,
It's actually an offering of like buying a bodega, a new refrigeration, if that's what it's gonna take to transition them to carry healthier items. Yeah. Well, because there was a conversation in the news about what is a bodega, I'm using it interchangeably. Towards equipment and
the foods and things like that.
it's equipment and items. We can probably set them up with relationships to get discounts on some of the healthier food items, but it's mostly equipment. Yeah.
Chris, Councilman Chris, you want me to tell you? Buy one small refrigerator costs $5,000. So now we're talking about the $5,000 we're gonna purchase this, we're gonna purchase that. To me, as a business person background, buy just refrigerator for the commercial cost is $5,000, easy. So I don't know where they're gonna spend the $5,000 for each one. I scratch my.
Well, the model is that it costs about $2,000 per bodega. This is one grant, yeah.
It's a grant, it's a $5,000 grant.
Yeah, I spent way too much time waiting to talk about this, so.
Thank you.
It's a really small project.
Who's got 4 items, 3 items? 4?
I have 2 and possibly 1. There was a question from council.
Should've been up here earlier.
That's okay. I think it's going to be more than 3 by the time I get out of here, so. So I have 10C, resolution in support of, unless Bob wants, Robert, sorry. Resolution in support of the proposed New Jersey Department of Transportation improvements to Route 440, that's from Minna Drive to the Route 109 and County Route 612 border or edge. It's a resurfacing project that's supposed to occur entirely at night. The associated ramp closures are supposed to last 1 night per ramp closure. That's what we've been assured by the New Jersey Department of Transportation. And we've been asked to pass this resolution in support of the project. It is scheduled to go out to bid by mid-spring and maybe under construction by late spring, but definitely by early summer.
Is this a requirement of the project being done, or?
It's a typical request as a courtesy, I believe.
Yes.
Maybe you can.
Traffic jams?
Right, I think that's what it is, so that when there's traffic jams, they could be like, your city council said that they wanted you to do this.
Oh, okay. I was filled in pretty well by, about what was going to happen. And just like Rolando said, it's a mess down there now with the trucks.
Right.
So, I'm reading this, so they're gonna close down they're gonna work, I should say, only at night. Right, what do you mean by night? What happened?
What's the hour?
I could get the exact hours. I don't recall at this time, but it was.
The earliest would be 8 p.m.
I think it was 8 or 9.
Yeah. So they told us, and this is a two-part project, one's state, one's federal, so they're gonna go all the way from Communipaw all the way into the Bayonne on the 440 side. So I think the Minna Drive is the state part, and then the federal part, I think, is the Minna Drive into Bayonne part. Like Joe said, there'll be one, turn, closure, 1 per night. We were concerned about traffic being funneled into Country Village. They've assured us, by the time they get to that point, you're looking at probably August, so the Little League will be done at that point. It's a road that needs it. I mean, not to.
There's no doubt that 440 needs to be surfaced, and even some of the ramps going around there are in rough shape. It's just a question of, you were saying about how they may have to redirect traffic. Now, I'm not sure they're going to redirect it.
Right, so they do plan on making it 1 lane. I think, and that 1 lane would be used for trucks, and they were going to redirect cars, for instance, up Danforth Avenue, down West Side, or up Culver towards West Side, depending on what part of the roadway they're on that week. So there will be some extra traffic along the West Side area.
construction on that, then we have 139, we have
Can we finish this
Highway.
conversation?
Yeah, we're saying overnight, so when they're working on 440, come rush hour in the morning,
It'll be gone.
everything's gonna be gone.
All lanes will be open.
All lanes are gonna be open.
By 6 a.m. they'll be out of there.
Okay. We're gonna keep a close eye on that.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, because I'm reading the time schedule, and
Right.
in the letter, it says that they're gonna start in the summer of 16, so obviously they're a year behind already. And I'm not so sure.
That might be a typo.
I'm not confident in whether they're gonna redirect the traffic properly, although I want 440 fixed.
Now, this got to do like Sunday through Saturday?
No, Monday through Friday.
Weekdays.
Yeah, we haven't been told, and that excludes holidays as well. In my office, I have specific ramp closures, and we can sit down and review those.
Sure.
And if need be, we could bring a member back in and have a special meeting about it to discuss it as time.
Because West Side, if it's at because West Side's very difficult to drive down if it's late.
Yeah, we had a meeting right here. We went through each and every closure. We discussed the local businesses and how they were going to be redirected. There was a special particular concern for the Hudson Mall. It's a little bit tricky, but they were assuring us that that would get a special traffic detail specifically for that, and also truck deliveries.
I can give to some personal guarantee for Joe. He's a very good coordinating. I'm really happy.
Smoking.
I know Joe.
He's very good.
He's complimenting everyone tonight.
Yeah.
He's smoking.
No, really. No. He's a very good.
So I have two. So we've had those complaints regarding the truck routing into Mina Drive, and that the signage from DOT to clarify the signage, and that, is that, I know we're in conversations with them, or I understand, I'm not sure if that's your area?
Actually, Doug Carlucci was in pretty deep conversations with them. And also, I think one of the keys is the GPS programming. So I believe the I-team has been in touch with Google Maps as well.
Okay. I mean, yeah. So there was a talk about signage, and so getting the signage, I mean, if we're in talks with DOT about this, and they say they're going to do that signage, or they're going to do something, I'm not sure what they're committed to doing, but is Doug aware of this project as well?
Doug is aware, yes.
Okay, so he needs to use this as, bring that conversation about the signage into this, to get this all right and fixed, like,
Frank Pierce actually
at
brought that
once.
up in the meeting.
Yeah.
And they did assure us that they were going to help with the signage. One of the issues from the constituents in Country Village is they want signage on Minna Drive as they're approaching, headed east. But by that point, once the tractor trailer gets in there, there's no backing up. So it's only through. So that's a bit troublesome for that request, to meet that request. Signage on the roadway, we verified that there is already some signage there. Aside from a blinking sign in the middle of the median, and actually one concern, or one suggestion was to turn Minna Drive one way out. But that would be a totally different ballgame, and that would be before you. That's what traffic and engineering came up with. The signs are there, they're just.
But they following the GPS, so that's what they're saying, that's been a problem.
Yeah, but the signs are there.
I know.
GPS, they can follow it to Mars if they want.
Right.
The problem is GPS actually,
Trucks, right.
GPS actually guides them in there. So the signage we asked for was to specifically spell out where they can make a right turn at the next possible intersection. I believe it's all the way up at Communipaw. So aside from changing the roadway to one way out, which is something we can consider.
That is a conversation, because they tear up those people cars up there.
I understand
That's
there's
the
damage to
conversation.
vehicles occurring too with these trucks, so.
I mean, it's impossible to go.
Because they hit a T intersection and then it's a tight right to the city line road.
And they just tearing up people's cars. Maybe that's the conversation you need to have, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
So when is this project underway?
Spring, we're looking at spring.
looks like late spring, yeah, early summer.
They'll carry over, you know, through to the fall.
So while the work is going on at night and whatnot, is there like state troopers there or something? I don't know, like for traffic or whatever, or is it just?
No, I think typically they reach out to local traffic, police enforcement detail for that.
So they will have a local detail?
I believe so, yeah. Traditionally, it's been local detail. Now, as of very late, it's been a mix of both state troopers and local.
Communicate to the police that if there's going to be a local detail there, that they need to crack down on these trucks coming down Mina Drive. And, yeah.
Another suggestion, it's possible that before this project even starts, like the public be notified.
Yes.
I guess the
Oh, they have to. They have to.
Yeah, we'll put out our blinking signs. We own a few.
The Matrix boards.
Yeah, the variable message signs.
People in the area, if there's some public news thing that you can let everybody know exactly what's going to happen, I think it would help rather than someone who works the midnight shift finds out they can't get to their house.
So then, BA, can we ask this one? City of Jersey spent almost $50,000 for texting for the resident people of Jersey, emergency notices, so and so. Can we use that? I think even though we pay every year almost $50,000, we barely use that emergency texting service. Why don't you use that one? At least that notice that the people of Jersey City, instead just $50,000 pay a year, but don't you at all, what I'm saying?
We can certainly do that, but
Yeah.
not a lot of people are registered.
We
only have a couple thousand people registered to the system right now.
Right, then.
So we have to do.
A couple of thousand people is still better than. Sure.
Yeah, but we should figure out on that note, like an adoption effort.
Yeah, we should figure out another method to do it.
And whatever you get the phone number, can we share the all city council members?
Well, we'll call it the chief.
I'll speak with Director Kearson about getting that system a little bit, and Jen Morrell about advertising it better.
Now, next question is BA.
Yes, sir.
Okay, not only the texting, so if we only a couple of thousand people register that things, that phone number strictly used for purpose of City of Jersey City, correct?
People's private phone numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know how often we call people on a robo, but.
Probably impact.
Whatever numbers they put in the system when they register, where the communication will go out. Normally as a text message, or it could be emails.
But usually, when I contribute to a texting company, they base on how many phones you have. But now, if we have only 2,000 phone number, while we pay $50,000, a whole lot of money.
Somehow we got fixed-based pricing instead of volume-based pricing.
That's what I'm saying.
Speak with Mr. Kearson.
Can't you? Can't you look into that?
Sure.
Because, we should get paid.
Right.
Until we get a lot of people, and then we want to get the fixed-based pricing back.
Right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But till that point, while we pay $50,000, only $2,000, the 2,000 texting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a waste of taxpayers' dollar.
You should be able to send out a text for like .00003 cents a text.
That's
or
what I'm saying. It's
something.
very cheap. So 2,000, you should be having $50,000 a year, Depending on how many times you were texting. But last year, I didn't receive any texting from the City of Jersey as an emergency notice. So we should correct that problem. Thank you very much.
Totally agree. You'll save $50,000.
D, E, and F.
One last thing. Does this involve that firm Ramon?
No, this is strictly the
different
state. The state has hired their own designers, and I forgot the name of the firm. It was a large firm. They had about 5 staff members here. Sure.
We had the meeting with the New Jersey Turnpike people. The only person from the city that was engineers or anything was Pat Stamato. That's going to be a disaster.
Yes,
Now you're
it
talking
is.
about 440, and everybody, what's going to happen is everybody's going to get off the turnpike at the Bayonne exit and head up that way.
I wasn't even aware of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
They better
I would have had somebody there.
They better contact you because
I don't know which
Yeah.
meeting.
The one at Ferris High School, he's talking 14C.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes. I did have a member there. I had Paul as supervising. Paul Russo. Paul Russo. I believe he spoke to you.
No,
Yeah, he met with the gentleman from Greenman Peterson, who's the project consultant running the show over there. They have some requests from us for changes with signal timing, so before we give up on questions and requirements that we need. We have some leverage here to discuss that. We would really rather not adjust the signal timing the way they want it, but if it means getting other issues addressed, then so be it. So.
The same type of presentations the state highway gave at 139, and it's a disaster. And that's going to be a disaster on that turnpike. Yeah, no, nobody.
Tough one to accommodate as well. 14C.
And
All right, are we?
Okay.
Do we have a?
What's the other one?
14D.
I could cover these traffic ones if you want real quick. I'll run through them.
For manual loading zones, we have one at resolution
These are resolutions.
D, E, and F.
Can you pull F? So we can talk about it?
Actually, yeah, we were going to discuss that one. I thought we were going to discuss here, but if you want.
Okay, oh, that's fine. Yeah, let's discuss it then.
I have some pictures as well.
Let's go to order. D?
What is it? Let's do them in the order.
D is a 75-foot loading zone on the north side of 17th Street, beginning 25 feet east of Coles and extending 75 feet east, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
That is really, because you know what? I have a concern. As long as Councilwoman Candace Osman say, okay, because her district, I got no objection. But I think we have to reconsider loading joints on Monday to Friday reasonable, not include Saturday. You know, most of deliveries.
This whole area is there is no existing residential, and we have new residential has parking in the buildings, and the people aren't using it. So I specifically asked traffic and engineering. Bob knows because I asked like several times to put meters and monetize it, because these people shouldn't be, they're by our ordinances anyways, like by the rest of our ordinances, if we would have this tightened up, they shouldn't be parking there anyways, they should be using the parking in their building. It's not like we're taking parking away from somebody who doesn't have another option, it's just people cheating. So the idea was to figure out what's the right thing to do for the area with literally no political considerations. Like, what do you think is the right thing to do? And this is what they came back with.
So
the only thing I would have maybe suggested is put more meters, but they said maybe.
It makes more sense, put your meters.
It is already on the first.
So I'll just mention also, we could jump to this after the resolutions, but Ordinance A, 3A, gives us the meters up on 18th in the area. It's basically one big block, bounded by 17th, 18th, and I believe it's Coles, and the other street is escaping me right now, but
And the reason in that block it isn't being built is because
Cost the amount of money they're charging, and that's a farce, because they're building these buildings, then they want people to pay for parking. But remember, what we were told, nobody moving here is moving into Jersey City has a car. No, they're all gonna walk to the supermarket and carry back big packages.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, it's such.
Mary actually inventoried that one day. The strip of cars that were blocking a driving lane on 18th headed towards the light rail path.
They go all the way up Hoboken?
All the way up Hoboken Avenue.
Last night, they were almost up to the state 139.
So
This is the right thing. So there's two pieces. The resolution's one, A is the other, but this is a result of them looking at it purely from a city's perspective, not from anybody else's perspective on what is the right thing to do, so I fully support it.
Yeah, so we could have gone farther, but at some point we have to draw the line how far we chase this thing up Hoboken Ave and whatnot. So let's get this in place, see how it works, and then we'll emanate outwards from there, especially as we build out that area, or as they build out the area.
That might make sense.
And I want the price, if we can get the price-based ones, demand-based ones, it would be great.
He thinks we're a better area to do that. We'll talk about that.
I think we should go to an established area, roll out the new, more efficient meters, but we do have, we're working with planning, they have 3 main areas. Engineering has 1 right out here in front of City Hall, but
An hour, 2 hours?
that's to be determined. I think it's a standard that we have in the parking department, but what we're looking to go towards and what we're referring to on the sidebar here is to go to a multi-space type meter system, much like Hoboken has and various other municipalities have adopted.
Miami has a great one, you can do it from your phone, and also it's demand-based, so like if there's more
There's tremendous possibilities. You
Increase the
could,
pricing and-
you could pay for your parking by phone, so if you're sitting at a restaurant, you don't have to get up.
Okay.
Things of that nature.
All right.
So that's that. So we'll move on to E. Resolution
Can we
supplement.
do 3A? Was 3A considered discussed? Thank you.
Okay. So on to 10E. I apologize for jumping around. Resolution supplementing the manual of bus stop designations in the city of Jersey City, amending the times for both the northbound and southbound bus stops on Summit Avenue at Manhattan Avenue, from all times to Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Councilman, yes?
Yes, Joe. This is, people get so pissed at the residents of that area. I hope, can we waive the waiting period 20 days? Because actually, there's so.
It's a resolution.
It's a resolution.
Right away.
Oh, resolution right away, right?
Ready to
Okay,
go.
good. Thank you very much, okay? All right.
Okay, so next one would be, yes.
No bus service after that?
Yes.
I believe so, but I could check on that.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., that's right.
Okay, so the next one.
You want to go to?
Yeah, this one, Councilwoman Osborne had a specific question about it.
10F.
This is 10F?
Yeah, I just didn't understand it. I didn't, from the email I got, I didn't understand it, so.
So essentially, what happens in this area, first and foremost, the site plan that was approved had this section approved as a loading zone. There's a series of 3 loading docks, but they're not your conventional straight-ahead, perpendicular to the street loading docks. They're actually on angles. The way they're designed, they have 2 triangles, if you recall from down there. These triangles jut out into the street,
Yep,
and they all correspond to a loading dock door.
yep.
The 95-foot encompasses those 3. The reason why they were built this way was so that you could back in from either side. However, the street is one way this way. Everyone is going to pull ahead and back in on this angle. The reason why they're angled and not straight ahead is so that they don't stick across the street and block off all traffic. So that's why the 95-foot. It seems a bit of excessive, but there's a reason for it. And it extends past the last one by about 20 feet so that it accommodates the absolute last vehicle. If you have 3 in a row backed into the loading docks, they're all accommodated simultaneously without cutting off the traffic flow on the roadway.
Okay, and so, this isn't the one that we just went through all the drama about putting the Zone 4 parking spots back, is it?
This is relative to the same project, yes.
Same project, but is it the same block?
No, it's the other side of the block. This is adjacent, if I recall correctly, this is adjacent to the upcoming electrical vehicle First Street regulations that'll be rolling out soon. We could wait.
Can we wait just one
We
more?
could wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So withdraw?
Let me just chat it out with
Sure.
folks and then put it on the next agenda.
Sure.
All right, so
Okay,
10G is a withdraw?
No, F.
10F is a withdraw, right?
Do you have any more?
I have one more, a very important one for Councilman Yoon. It's in your ward. Z7.
Z7.
So we're seeking, this is a resolution authorizing the award of a contract to JC Contracting, Inc. for the Summit Avenue Intersection Improvements Phase 3 project. This is a public safety pedestrian project, at which point all the ADA ramps in the intersections from Charles Street to Leonard Street will be completely reconstructed. The pedestrian signal heads will be changed to a more pedestrian-friendly with a countdown, so that everybody knows how many seconds they have to cross. And the power just went out. The power's not totally out. Okay. All right. So I'm seeking your approval to award that contract.
Okay, great.
This is 100% funded by federal grant.
Okay, thank you very much. How much is it for?
I could get that for you. It's in the $470,000 range.
Anything else?
No.
All done, great. Do we have any other city employees? I can't see anyone anymore. Any other city employees? Okay. Joe, if you can give up the seats, because we're low on seats, and I'm going to bring up Johanna Kale. And before we go through our regular business, I just wanted to, this is a addition to the agenda. It is
Z36.
Z36. It was just handed out by the clerk,
Yeah, it's on legal paper. The attachment is on letter size paper.
and they're missing the title on the, it is a fair and welcoming city resolution.
There's no title.
Okay, as you know, this past Friday, Mayor Fulop signed an executive order.
Oh, Joe left?
Yes. Okay. Mayor Fulop signed an executive order that it was a sanctuary city executive order detailing different provisions with regard to the allocation of city resources from Health and Human Services to Recreation, every department, but also primarily with regard to law enforcement resources. And the gist of it is that the executive order declares that city police will not engage with ICE in non-criminal enforcement operations, detentions and deportations and the like, unless there is a federal directive or other order that requires the city to do so. I have here with me tonight Johanna Kale, who is the director for the New Jersey Alliance for Immigrant Justice. She, along with American Friends Services Committee, the American Civil Liberties Union, who else do we have on there? Make the Road, 32BJ, and a whole coalition of partners worked with our law department, their legal teams, worked with our law department in drafting that executive order. And this resolution essentially just affirms the City Council's support and commitment, and it details from items 1 through 12, essentially, the different provisions of the executive order itself that were within that executive order, with the exception of 2 items, number 1 and number 8 on this list. Number 1 is not explicitly written into the executive order, as it's not necessary as part of an executive order, but it basically expresses that we will protect vulnerable communities and vigorously oppose any government registry based on religion or national origin. And number 8 urges the creation of a municipal ID program, which has been discussed with the administration for over a year. Municipal ID program in lieu of expanding driver's license access here in the state of New Jersey, which has not been approved by the state legislature. Municipal ID programs have been adopted in Newark, New Jersey, New York City, and municipalities throughout the state. So, Johanna, do you want to add anything? And she's here to answer questions. Councilperson Osborne.
So I read through and understand most of them. The only 2 I had questions with was number 9. What is a U visa?
When someone is a victim of a crime, they can apply for a U visa, but they need the police department to certify that they were indeed a victim of a crime. So U visa, you can apply for a U visa if you're a victim of a crime. So say you are a domestic violence victim, you can apply for a U visa to allow you to have a path to citizenship if you happen to be undocumented. It's a federal program. But unfortunately what happens is law enforcement doesn't understand what it is, and then they don't know that there is one part they have to certify, so they'll see that it's a federal program, and then they get nervous about signing a federal document. So this actually allows you to create a protocol so law enforcement actually knows what it is, and then communities don't have to wait, because unfortunately then victims end up not being able to go through the process because the law enforcement officers don't feel comfortable signing the documentation.
Got it.
Yep.
And then the other question I had was on number 11, the part where it says participate in joint operations with ICE, blah, 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 blah. The only question I had there was, remember, like, gosh, it's probably been 2 years, there was a resolution that we passed about trafficking of young women. And I just wanted to make sure there's no unintended consequences there if this is the group that, I don't know if this ICE group is the group that helps to look at the, for that was just kind of my only kind of clarifying question, and if it was, could we like exclude that from this language?
Is it? Is it?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to clarify, honestly. It might be a different division within ICE. We should verify that. Yeah. I can verify that for you. I think you're right in making sure that it doesn't exclude, it doesn't actually get into sort of the trafficking victim issue.
Yeah, like I want, say differently.
Absolutely.
I want our police department to help with trafficking, stopping trafficking of young women. No matter.
Right, absolutely, right. That makes sense. And I can clarify that pretty quickly.
Those are mine.
Okay, any other questions?
Can I ask about the municipal ID? What is the difference? Because I know with the driving division, they give you an ID if you don't drive. So if we issue a municipal ID, what's the difference? And who will honor it?
Right, so currently, if you want a state ID, you still have to hit the same point system as a driver's license, which means anyone who can't do that 6-point system won't be able to get a state ID. So you have folks who are coming back from the criminal justice system, re-entering their communities. You have folks who are living in shelters. So it's not just undocumented people. You have a whole group of folks who can't go to the DMV and get a state ID because it's so rigorous. So where the Muni ID comes in is that it allows for them to use this ID only for the purposes of identifying themselves. It is not a license, it is not a federal document, they can't use it to enter federal buildings, but they can use it to identify themselves if they do in fact interact with local law enforcement. So, a Jersey City police, if they interact with someone who doesn't have an ID, they would have to take them in, go through the process so that they can figure out who they are. A Muni ID would actually make life easier for law enforcement to work with the community and for community members to feel comfortable interacting. On the immigration side also is that if an undocumented person uses a foreign ID, then it becomes sort of a red flag of, okay, well, why don't you have a license? Why don't you have a community ID? Where are you from? And all of a sudden, you're starting into the questioning of someone's country of origin and immigration status. So Muni IDs, what we've seen in Muni IDs in cities is that everyone gets it because you can create sort of a really inclusive program, and then basically you can get a Muni ID as well. So you set the guidelines. That's right. You set the guidelines. Right.
Recognize it, and the city would recognize the municipal ID, whether it be law enforcement, but also city agencies for registration into programs. Maybe it could double as a library card,
but you can work
or senior ID.
Point system, you have to have a birth certificate or whatever.
You still would do
right.
that, yes.
You
still
how
need
can
that.
we prove that this individual is that individual?
You still need that. For a municipal ID, you would still need to verify that the person is who they say they are and that they do in fact live in the city.
And that's part of the challenge of developing the program, is trying to figure out what are acceptable documents, and that's where the law department and police department are kind of working on that.
This resolution says you're going to try to do it, not doesn't actually establish the program. Yeah.
Okay. John, thank you. Questions? Councilman Yun.
Yeah, actually, I just received that. It's a printing version, so we didn't get a chance to read it. So I'm going to have my question, but I'm going to this coming Wednesday night.
Okay.
Because, she has an opportunity to read, but I don't, okay? Then we're going to ask her, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much.
From the top.
All right. We only had two first reading ordinances. We did one with Joe Cunha. The other is a franchise ordinance granting permission to 207 Van Voor Street.
Let's
just keep going, don't worry.
Go ahead, let's keep going.
We're good. No.
Its successors and assigns to make private improvements in the Sussex Street right-of-way north of Van Voor Street, adjacent to property located at 193, 197, 213 Van Voor Street, and Marin Boulevard, Jersey City, also known on the tax maps of the city as Block 14205, lots 14.02, 15, 16, 17, 01, and 18.
Any questions?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I think.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm like, I know why.
Where's Waldo?
It's for a dog run.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's fine on the dog run, don't have a question about that. But we had, when we passed this redevelopment plan a couple of years ago, we had talked about the end of Sussex Street being made into kind of like a little pocket park. We put that in the redevelopment plan, and I don't see it anywhere referenced in any of this. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
This is the same project that had the larger pedestrian, passive park area. So there is no pocket park at the end of Sussex. All that's at the end of Sussex that was approved by the planning board, and that is actually in the ordinance, is the dog run.
I mean, in the redevelopment plan, we definitely talked about that. Like, I remember as clear as daylight. Rob?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
So what do we need to do?
I don't know, so I want to talk about it.
All right, so Candace, this is for just the dog run, I think, so we can maintain it and build it as kind of a structure.
Yep.
With fencing. But the improvements at the end of Sussex Street, we're gonna do that as part of the new curbs and sidewalks plan.
Okay.
So I think it's less of a franchise perspective and more of just when we do the normal roadside improvements as our curbs and sidewalks, we'll incorporate that like we spoke about.
Okay.
And I can meet you and we'll figure it out.
Okay, awesome.
All right.
Okay, good?
Yeah.
All right, let's blast through resolutions. Those that are not already done, get your hands off me. 10A, a resolution authorizing an emergency temporary appropriation.
Okay, before we do that, can I ask for 4A? Any attorneys available?
Which one?
4A. Yeah.
Finish up business.
Right.
Who else to finish up business?
4A is the ordinance that was tabled, and I was instructed to advertise it for this meeting. This is the school in the building on CCD Drive.
Right.
Can we have any representative from this project?
So this is 4A, this is L&M, 25 Christopher Columbus.
Yes.
Are the representatives from 25 Christopher Columbus here? If you could come forward, please.
Chuck, just get wings and fly.
Just a very simple question. You guys ask actually 25 years of tax abatement, but affordable housing term is only 20 years. Can you plan to extend the term 20 to 25 years? Any plan? Yeah, because of the affordable housing is. They have a term only 20 years, but actually we provide the tax at 25 years. The anyway can change to 20 years to 25 years.
May I try to address that?
Sure.
So the abatement's benefits run to the proposed development, not to the existing building. The proposed development stands to gain from a 20-year abatement, which has a 25-year term, which is actually effectively expiring between years 21 and 25. So what we are functionally doing is giving buying an extension of the affordability that's tied to the meaningful abatement period in what you're approving, especially on Wednesday.
You know, the last 5 years of the proposed abatement, you see in the financial agreement, it's 95% of conventional taxes. That's what the abatement. So it's really a 20-year benefit. I mean, the last 5 years is when you have the 95%, and then you have to pay the county the 5%. You're essentially at conventional taxes.
Pay county 5% is only 5% of that annual service charge. So actually, you're not paying full 5% to county. It's a big difference.
What?
So you say, okay, so close to end, you pay 95%, and the price of 5% county tax, but that 5% county tax, not true 5% to our municipal tax, of 5% of annual service, what you pay for Jersey City. So that's not even 5%, they're not even 1%, you know what I'm saying? So, we got to make clear for that part of it. So they have no reason to, we have to.
Pretty close to the full bill.
Another one, the 100 Montgomery Street. Also, when I see that, they didn't spell it out they're going to have 300 units will be affordable housing is 100 Montgomery Street. But
200.
200, yeah, 200.
The existing building is a 308 unit building.
Yeah, 300 units for the 100 Montgomery Street, but they not even say that how many years will be the affordable housing units. I didn't see, orally I got that they're 20 years, but I like to have in documentation that at least that the Montgomery Street also 25 years affordable housing unit, whatever. We have to put in the
term is articulated in the deed restriction and in the.
Yeah, deed restriction, but they said deed restriction, but they didn't say the term itself clear.
It's,
Okay, we'll make sure.
Get it from redevelop, tell them.
yeah, it's that,
Redevelopment here? No.
no. That contractual obligation is in the redevelopment agreement with the JCRA. So that is to extend the term for 20 years on affordability measures for 100 Montgomery for 163 units, which would otherwise have expired. And that'd be a contractual obligation, and also part of that is a deed restriction is required to be recorded. That will require that those 163 units within 100 Montgomery shall be extended for an additional 20 years. So that's not, you're not going to see that in the financial agreement. That's a separate redevelopers agreement with the JCRA, which is all part of any potential development at that site.
We'll give you additional affordable units you're building also too, right?
There's-
Because the total is 200.
Yeah, there's also 37 units within the new building that would be affordable housing. So it's a total of 200 units.
Okay, so do you favor that one step before we, I like a copy of that project income, so because they say they expect $2.4 million income they expect from the rental income, but I didn't see any project income, like a chart. I like to have a copy of project income. Number two, I like to have a comparison chart with a conventional and the tax abatement, because usually they do 11% down to 7%.
Isn't that usually in the package?
Yeah, that's usually, the city usually.
No, not on here. So, yes.
It's probably the original version.
We'll email it to you.
Okay, please, okay? And the other things we can ask us Wednesday night, okay?
Okay. Can I go to the resolutions now, Councilman?
Yes.
Thanks.
We had 10A, an emergency temporary appropriation. B, reserve it, we're authorizing calendar year appropriation reserve transfers. C, we did with Joe. D and E with Joe. F was withdrawn. I is the only one on the page not spoken about. It's authorizing an amendment with the JCRA to improve Berry Lane Park and implementing the Morris Canal redevelopment plan.
Okay, but
V.
It's a license agreement. Go ahead.
Okay.
BA?
BA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, when I see that the 10A, so,
10A is the emergency temp.
yes, I know the police fire retirement. Police fire retirement, we put $38 million.
Because the bill is coming due to pay the annual pension payment. That's what's the annual pension payment.
Okay.
All right, L through, on the page of L through U, we have M and N to do. We're selling vacant land on Liberty Avenue. Sorry?
Okay.
Back to I.
Wait, sorry.
I is actually transferring the $225,000 open space grant they got to JCRA so they can do the improvements on Berry Lane.
All right. K is amending the resolution authorizing submission of the CSBG application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. M and N. M is authorizing the sale of vacant land on Liberty Avenue to the contiguous property owner. N is authorizing use of competitive contracting to award a contract for consulting services in connection with the development of a pedestrian enhancement plan. Happy to say I have little dots next to all of the next page of resolutions of V.
S was not done yet.
Wait. S.
Excuse
I'm
me.
flying,
Excuse me.
sorry.
Excuse me, clerk.
sorry.
With all due respect, we'll only be 5 minutes, and Pastor, no.
5 minutes. We have less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay. We have less than 5 minutes. We gotta finish.
S is a contract with P&A Administrative Services to administer the flexible spending account, Cobra and retiree building. Billing, sorry. Z8, awarding a competitively bid contract to Asset Works to provide FIST access, assets, appraisal, and valuation services.
This one we do every year?
No, so this is a new contract. So one of the findings in our last few audits was our lack of a fixed asset inventory. So in order to resolve that and create the inventory, we're hiring a company that's going to tag and inventory all of our fixed assets of 5,000 or greater.
Okay, fixed asset include the property also?
Sure, property, anything in value over $5,000.
Okay, I see, all right.
Z9, reauthorizing a professional services agreement with the law firm of O'Donnell McCord PC to serve as special counsel to represent the city in tax appeal cases. Z10, ratifying a professional services agreement with the law firm of Reed Smith LLP to serve as special counsel on various issues related to the Federal Communications Act of 1966. We did 11. 12 is authorizing an agreement with Dearborn National Life Insurance Company to provide life insurance for management employees as an EUS.
You go to 12.
10.
Yeah.
So this is in response to the issues that have been coming up with polls going up.
Which do whatever they want.
So we have an expert in the FCC field to represent us. That's the purpose of this one.
This is like when they're putting up those polls in the historic district saying, oh, we're gonna do
Correct.
that. Yeah, okay, got it. Good.
All right, Z13 is an annual event, professional services agreement with Strulitz and Gargiulo for physical therapy and rehabilitation services. Z14, amending an extraordinary unspecifiable services with Claims Resolution Corporation Incorporated.
All these amendments that you're going to see right now are all contracts. You can see about 10 of them from the law department right now. These are at the request of the CFO. All contracts the council previously approved, but we're correcting the account number and issuing the purchase order against them. They were using
That's Z16 through 25.
17 through 25. They're all just amending to correct the account number.
Why those things happen?
They were using the insurance fund account number, which really isn't the appropriation account. For budgetary purposes, we should be using the appropriation account, not the insurance funds, which is considered a liability account.
Okay, 26.
Did we do Z16?
Z16 we did earlier.
No, we didn't.
No.
Enabling resolution for a grant under the State of New Jersey Green Acres Program for Berry Lane Park improvements.
Okay.
Okay, questions? Hearing none?
26, 27, 28, and 29 are appointments. Thomas Gibbons to the MUA, Municipal Utilities Authority. Irma Green to the Redevelopment Agency. Darwin Ona to the redevelopment.
Hold on.
What you got, Rich?
I'll go with all the appointments, they're all downtown. I mean, the rest of the city is, I guess, doesn't mean nothing.
Darwin Ona to the Redevelopment Agency. Dan Rivera to the Redevelopment Agency. Council President to the Redevelopment Agency. Z31 is withdrawn. There are 3 appointments to the Immigration Affairs Commission. Ahmed Vea, Hamel Vias, and Juan Cartagena. We spoke to the council tax collector about the tax appeals. That was Z35, and Z36 is the citizenship, the safe haven resolution. Sanctuary City.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a motion by, at 7:28 by Councilperson Rivera.
Second.
Seconded by Councilperson Waterman. Just say goodnight, everyone, and we're adjourned.
Hold on. Folks, we are adjourned.
We adjourned.
Those who want to stay, we have members here.
All right, I am stopping the official record.